Greetings from the Valley of Fire. Now today's adventure does not take us into the Valley of Fire. We're just passing through. We're on our way looking for the lost city of St. Thomas. So, Anna, you ready for this adventure?
Of course, let's do it.
Okay. So the city we're going to, St. Thomas, it was actually settled by the Mormons. I believe it was like 1861. And what they didn't know at the time was that it was actually part of the state of Nevada. They thought it was part of Utah, but after a land survey, they found out that they were actually living in Nevada and not Utah. So a lot of folks that had came and settled to live in this town actually left. That was interesting. I will tell you though, although you had to pay to get through the park, this Valley of Fire on the way to where we're going, I would tell you it's really worth it. Because some of these views are just spectacular. It's a really great drive. I mean, it's just worth the money. I think we paid like $9 to get in with the military discount. So I don't really know how much of a discount we got or how much money it could actually be. So, but I mean, as you can see, it's spectacular. Okay. All right, so we've taken it off road now. Little bumpy road, a lot of corrugations. It's about a couple miles for this this road to get to our finishing point, where we'll have to probably hoof it on foot at that point. So we'll just keep on going until we can't go any further. So here we've taken the vehicle as far as we can. We have to hoof it on foot now. I think it's a couple miles to where we need to get to. So we're gonna brave the elements for you, the desert elements, the heat, the snakes, the scorpions. So what do you think about that, Annie? What are you worried about the scorpions?
I can brave the 70 degrees heat.
I know it's 70 degrees, but it was like 40 degrees the other day. So that's like, things are heating up. So Anna, what have you come across?
There are shells on the ground.
Okay, so that's obviously evidence that this was definitely underwater at one point.
Yeah, let me show you.
Let's see here. Let's get a close look. We're in the shade there. Oh, nice. Cool. Well, let's look at a lot of horse poo out here on the way to this St. Thomas. I mean, there's already enough crap on TV. I guess I'm giving you a little bit more. So we're continuing our trek on what was once the floor of the huge lake. It's all dry now. Just to give you a little background about this place, in 1865, that's when this St. Thomas was settled. Nearly 5, 6, 7 decades people lived out here, but the construction of the Hoover Dam is what changed everything. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Once we get closer to St. Thomas itself, I'll talk a little bit more how the building of the dam changed the life of the residents of this town forever. So, Anushka, this looks like the path. Maybe this is the way in. Looks like, let's just try this way. Let's go. All right, so we're kind of walking our way through the path here. So there's some of the old vegetation and shrubs. At this point, this is where I really kind of have to look out for snakes and I don't really worry about the scorpions. I can step on those, but the snakes, you just can't step on them. They're gonna ruin your day. So, all right. So keep an eye out, Anna.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It's okay. I think. Which way should we go? Down this way?
Yeah.
You want to go this way or
This way.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go through here. Let's go this way. All right, yeah, I see. Yeah, here we go. We're onto something here. Okay. We decided to take a shortcut through what would have been the old marsh, but there's no water here now. So this area was underwater for probably about 50 years. So this was obviously some sort of dwelling at one point. Maybe people lived here, over 100 years ago, when you can kind of picture, what their life would have been like back in those days. I mean, here we are, we're at the floor of this valley. I mean, we're at the beginning of March right now, and it's already 75 degrees. I can feel the heat today. You can imagine what it's been like to be here in like the middle of July or the middle of August.
Yeah, it gets to about 120 here.
Yeah, absolutely. To live the life that they did. So let's just continue on down and see what else we can come across. So I was right when I said it's going to get hot. So as you notice, I've taken off my long sleeve. But anyway, just backing up to what I was talking about, the building of the Boulder Dam. So the Boulder Dam Act of 1928 is what authorized the construction of the dam, which is several miles in that direction. But once the dam was completed, the water would start to recede. And I believe it was like around 1931 is when the dam started getting built. And so the people that lived here started dismantling their homes, at least the smart ones did. And they started to move their homes to Overton, which is not too far away from here, maybe about 20 miles up the road. But by 1932, this place really became a ghost town. So no one was really living here. There was actually one guy that lived here. His name was Hugh Lord. He refused to leave. He did not think the water was going to come and engulf this town. So he was just sticking it out. So probably, you know, in modern times, this guy probably would have be called a dam denier. But he denied it all the way up until the water actually engulfed his home. He woke up one morning and water was in his living room. And I guess at that point he decided, okay, maybe it's time for me to get the heck out of here. So when he had a boat right alongside his house, he jumped in his boat and he, you know, motored on out of here or rowed. I don't know whatever he did, but that was the end of St. Thomas as far as he was the last resident to live here. His name was Hugh Lord, and ever since then it has been done. So I suppose this was Main Street, St. Thomas, probably circa, 1920. A lot of hustling and bustling would happen back in those days. Like I said, 500 people used to live here. It was a booming little town. But now it's just a ghost town. So we've come across what looks like may have been someone's home. And I suppose this was probably a well at some point, living down here. This is where people would have gotten, got their daily water out of, because without the water, you can't survive. So let's just take a little poke around this little structure. They put a foundation up here. This maybe a floor, and it kind of had like a space to store things, kind of keep things cool. Right. Okay, so Anna, did you say you wanted to find the post office?
Yes, I did.
I know you're very fond of post offices. You like to check those out. But anyway, this is the original post office of St. Thomas, when it was kind of a booming town and things were moving along. So the biggest difference between this ghost town and all the other ghost towns that had in common back, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, was the people of this town, they were forced to leave. They had no choice but to get out because the water was coming. Opposed to the ghost towns of the old American Southwest, those folks left once the gold or the silver or all the resources, ran dry. People just cleared out of there. And this was like before the Depression and any kind of like social programs. So there was no money coming in for people, to encourage them to stay. So they had to leave and they had to go find places to where they can make money. So Anna, what are you doing?
Trying to see where they used to drop off packages.
No, I don't think that's a Amazon drop box of any sort. That's actually part of the irrigation system they used that would run from structure to structure in this valley. They used to they tapped into the water source nearby and they would run the water. So where do you think we should go next?
Maybe school?
Yeah, I think there's a schoolhouse on the other side of the valley here. A little bit of a walk, but let's go for it. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
All right, cool.
School?
Yeah, so we found the old schoolhouse. I could just only imagine 100 years ago, lots of children filled up this building and got their education. Probably a better education that the students in Las Vegas are getting today. So I would assume that these folks, when they came out of this building, they learned something. But it's kind of weird to just picture that right now. Like, put your mind back in 1922. And this was a full structure. Kids were in the classroom learning. So it looks like we came across the business district. This is where they had the general store and some other, mercantile things where people can trade and get supplies. So. Nothing left now. So if you're going to make the trek to St. Thomas, I recommend you wear comfortable, hiking shoes, comfortable clothes, even definitely bring some water, because even at 75 degrees, or 80 degrees right about now, we're feeling the heat, and we're feeling a little parched. So Anna, what are you thinking about St. Thomas right now? What are your thoughts?
It's very interesting.
Okay.
You can see a lot of remains of the buildings, and you can explore them. So that would be a fun afternoon if you would like to take a side trip from Las Vegas. It's not that far. It's about an hour and a half, but it's definitely worth the time.
So you getting tired? Ready for a break?
Yeah, I am getting tired. It's a lot of walking.
Well, the name of this channel is Beers and Frontiers, so I suggest that's the next thing we do is hoof on out of here and get us a cold one. What do you think?
I think that's a good plan.
Back on the main road, and we're headed towards a small town called Overton, Nevada. That's about 8 miles north of our location. One of the drawbacks of these little small towns in Nevada is just the unpredictability, the unreliability of services that may be available at any time of the day. Just a fancy way of saying, you just don't really know if shit's going to be open or closed. So, hey, but we're looking for this place called the Red Rooster. Hopefully we can get a beer.
Red Rooster? Isn't it a swingers club or something?
No, honey, I'm not taking you to that place. That's that place in Henderson or Nevada, in Vegas or something like that. I'm not going there. All right, so we've arrived in Overton, Nevada, and from the looks of that, I think we've arrived at the Red Rooster. All right. Okay, well, we're inside the Red Rooster. Pretty quiet in here. Kind of like that right now. I'm just trying to figure out which beer to have. So I'm going to talk to my bartender, Sarah, here in a minute, see what she recommends to me. Well, hello, Sarah.
Hi.
How you doing? So I don't really like drinking the regular stuff like Budweiser, Coors, and like Miller. What would you recommend that you have that's kind of different?
Actually, what I discovered recently was the 805. I actually honestly thought it was an IPA for a really long time.
Right,
but
I did too.
not.
And I actually do like the 805, and I've had that plenty of times. So let's go with the second choice here.
Second choice, I like a good Hefeweizen.
Yeah, give me, what is that? What kind of hef is that?
We got the Wigner Brothers. That one's okay. Blue Moon is kind of like, it's
Yeah.
Blue Moon,
You know what?
Shock Top. I would go with the Wigner Brothers. That's the
Oh,
one.
and you do have the St. Pauli girl. You have St. Pauli girl?
We do.
All the way over on the right-hand
I
side.
got the, that's okay.
Yeah, right there.
St. Paul, yes, I do.
Give me that. All right, so what I've chosen is a St. Pauli girl. I've had it before, but it's been a long time. And, you really can't find this in a lot of places, regular bars you go to. It's a lager. It's 5.0 ABF. Yeah, that's pretty smooth. I like that. It's been a while, like I said, since I had the St. Pauli girl. I guess, I'm sure it's German beer. Yes, it's, well, a lot of things say it's a German style lager or German recipe, but I'm not really sure where they brew it. I'll check into that. So go figure. I'm learning that this beer is actually from St. Louis, Missouri. And if you were watching my last video, you saw I was in St. Louis. So anyway, when I was there, I didn't see it. Funny that I would find it here in Overton, Nevada, of all places. But so I just noticed, they've got a sign in here that says free beer tomorrow. So, we are definitely coming back tomorrow. Talking to the bartender, she's telling me the only thing they have on draft is Bud Light. So you know how I feel about that. There's no way I'm getting that, so I'm gonna have to kind of check out what else they have to drink here. So the bartender here, Sarah, is telling me that there's a 2-drink minimum in this bar. No, really, no, she's just kidding. She just said that I should definitely try something else. So I'm gonna try this Whitney Brothers hef. We're gonna give that a whirl and see how that goes. It's your basic hef. It's kind of got a smooth taste to it. Love the color, love the consistency of that beer. I haven't seen that one around too. I mean, I may have run into it, in the past, but it's not something I would normally order or pick up the menu. But because, we're out here and they don't have a lot of beers on tap, and I only have to choose it for a few beers, I went with this. But I'm not disappointed. I will tell you that this small town of Overton. There's only 1 or 2 places to drink, but if you ever find yourself in Overton, Nevada, I recommend coming to the Red Rooster. These people are really nice. The bartender was really sweet. It's a cool little place, a little rustic, but that's perfect. I love it. So, thumbs up to the Red Rooster. Okay, so we're wrapping up things here on our video. So Anna, what would you say is your favorite part of the day? What'd you like?
I like walking around and checking out the old buildings of St. Thomas. It's pretty interesting.
You know, it's funny. The thing that struck me about that place was, at one point it was like a vibrant town, and just now it's nothing. It's gone. And we take so many things for granted in our lives. Like when you think about those folks back in those days when they were living there, they didn't ever imagine that the town one day would just disappear and it would not be nothing. And I think we just all need to just take a moment to think about how to appreciate what we have. We just assume that this is always going to be here, everything is going to be here, and in the future it may not be. So that's kind of really what kind of struck me when I was kind of walking around. But anyway, I don't want to be all philosophical, but that's kind of what I thought. But anyway, that's all we have for now. So cheers from Beers and Frontiers.